Family and friends gathered together to remember the life of a high school football player who died from an injury. We take a look at how Andrew Dodson's friends and teammates are honoring him. Have you been living in a FEMA-provided trailer since the July flood? Well, now you may have the opportunity to buy the unit you are already living in.
And temperatures are chilly this evening, but we go back to the 70s by next week. All those details coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A Southern Kentucky high school football player who died after he was hurt in a practice game a week ago was laid to rest today. Andrew Dodson was a junior on the Pulaski County high school football team. He passed away on Monday. People filled one of the largest facilities in Somerset to be with the family and attend the funeral this morning. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the respect and tribute paid to the young man by his community.
It has been a very difficult week for many in Pulaski County.
You know, heartbroken of the initial injury, heartbroken for the family.
Family, friends, and teammates filling the cavernous convention center, first strolling through numerous items that mark Dodson's short 17-year-old life.
Excellent young man, great representative of his family, of his community. He loved Christ, loved life, and he was just a light to everyone that he come in contact with.
The parking lot here at the Center for Rural Development has been nearly full for these services today. I'm told it was pretty much the same story on Thursday night. The wait to pay respects, more than 2.5 hours, as likely thousands of people came here. Throughout town, many are showing respect in their own and unique ways. At the funeral, his teammates wore their jerseys, and they plan to play the next season in his memory and honor.
He was a very good teammate. He's always nice to everybody. Always had a good heart about everything, very positive.
Understanding a couple things. One, that God's sovereign and that he's even moving through tragedy. In these moments, it's not that we hold on to our faith, but our faith holds on to us.
Goodman says they are also working on a memorial scholarship fund in Dodson's name. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The tributes will continue tonight as Pulaski and many other high school football fields will be lit up for 80 minutes. 80 was Dodson's jersey number. The wife of a former longtime Knott County judge has died. Heineman Funeral Services tells WYMT Judge John Robert Bobby Morgan's wife, Ollie Cornett Morgan, died today. Bobby died on Saturday at the age of 85. The funeral arrangements are not known at this time.
Well, we are still tracking a few showers across the mountains this evening. The good news, we are starting to dry out for most of us, but a few more sprinkles cannot be ruled out. Here's a look at the radar right now. You can see a few more of those sprinkles, mainly in our Kentucky and Virginia and Tennessee border areas there, mainly into our Virginia counties at this hour for places along US 23 from Dryden over towards Norton and Wise County, also in Buchanan and Dickinson County as well. Also looking at a few of those sprinkles, nothing too heavy, but if you do have any dinner plans in our Virginia or Tennessee counties, you may have to grab the umbrella at times. You can see where the rain is falling, upper 40s in Harlan and Jonesville, lower 40s in Wise, and middle 50s right now for Irvin and Moorhead under some drier skies over in that way. We do stay dry for most of us overnight tonight, only a small chance of a stray shower. Overnight lows falling into the lower 40s, but some warm weather is on the way. All those details coming up in just a little bit. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Cameron. Some flood survivors living in FEMA-provided trailers now have the opportunity to purchase the unit they are in. As WYMT's Keaton Hall tells us, officials say it's part of a push to get more survivors into permanent housing.
For the first time, Eastern Kentucky flood survivors have the chance to purchase their FEMA-provided temporary housing units, also known as THUs.
And we've heard this from local communities and local emergency managers and local support groups saying housing is very difficult to find in some parts of Eastern Kentucky.
To qualify, the flood survivor currently living in a FEMA THU must lack another permanent housing solution through no fault of their own.
So they're at a point where they don't have permanent housing plan, and we want to ensure that they do have some kind of a long-term plan for housing.
Everyone who is eligible will receive a letter asking if they'd like to purchase their unit.
And one of the issues, we see in Eastern Kentucky is there's a limited amount of housing available, not only for renters, but for homeowners. And this is the solution that FEMA has come up with and has used it in other disasters across the country.
Those who cannot afford the sale price may appeal it. The THU units will not be sold for less than 25% of the unit's adjusted market price.
And we always say this during a time of disasters, that it's just not FEMA that helps support people. It's the local, state, and federal government all working together to try to get people into permanent housing.
The USDA is also offering very low-income homeowners grants up to $40,000. In Hazard, Keaton Hall, WYMT Mountain News.
Flood survivors buying their THU must agree to insure the unit with hazard and flood insurance. The city of Pikeville is prepping for its biggest event of the year. This year's Hillbilly Days is the 46th year of the event after missing 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic. First responders are sharing tips such as staying hydrated, drinking responsibly, keeping valuables in a safe place, having a plan if parents and children get separated, and more to help folks enjoy the event. Pikeville Police Department Public Information Officer Tony Kahn adds the police, fire, and EMS are ready for this year's event and hope everyone has fun.
The pandemic's behind us. Now, let's have this Hillbilly Days. Let's do this. We had one afterward. We had one last year. And it was great, don't get me wrong, but we want this to be the biggest and the best. And let's everybody have fun, safe fun, good, clean, safe fun. That's what we want.
Kahn added that first responders will be stationed in several areas of the downtown area during the festival, so help will never be too far away. We will have more from city officials about the event tonight at 11. April is Autism Awareness Month. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details how two businesses are finding ways to give kids with autism a fulfilling playtime experience.
A big playground can be a lot of fun for many kids, but for some, having a more contained space may be more helpful.
When maybe a child's having more of an anxiety issue or more of a meltdown, you can get it down. It's something to help them calm down, help them just focus on one thing.
Sensory bins are a key tool for contained fun.
All the different toys, things you see, touch, you can hear the noise of them, and then the tools to work with, like fine motor, gross motor. And it's for all kids, but it's very special needs specific at the same time.
Imagine It and the Playhouse share a building in London called the Makespace, where kids with different backgrounds can experience fun in different ways.
That was a major reason really why I started the Playhouse, because I wanted something for children specifically with special needs to be able to come and do, because there's all kinds of things that kids can do, but nothing really super specific for them.
Creating a calming environment to play in has helped children in a wide range of ages.
Even older kids that think they're too old, they'll come to a birthday party, they think they're too old for what's going on, and they're even digging their hands into things playing.
A sensory bin can help kids in the future feel more receptive to try new things as well. In Hazard, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, thank you, Chandler. The Makespace is hosting a special needs night once a month. Their next event is April 13th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
And a few spotty showers are possible to kick off the weekend. All those details coming up. Plus,
with horse racing season officially underway in Kentucky, what does the newly signed sports betting law look like in action?